Good evening, one and all present here. I am Mrs. Lalita, Assistant Professor of English. The members of my team are Dr. Irum Aleve, Mr. Jyoti, Ms. Gayatri, and Mr. Smith. The topic of our group discussion is data is the important oil. Data is something very, very important. In a sense, it can be viewed as a resource that is valuable, but only if we can find the ways to properly extract value from it in this new world, it can be valuable.
Dear friends, data is oil. The phrase has become very popular in the last few years. But is this the right way of looking at data? Is it the sound way of looking at data? Dear friends, data can be viewed as a resource that is valuable. But it is valuable only if it can find ways to properly extract it, as Lalita ma'am has rightly pointed out just now. Data is very similar to oil because it acts as a fuel for analysis, for organizations, for even local, marketplace. Like oil, data is valuable only if it is in a form that is usable, in a form that we can utilize properly. Just like crude oil needs to be transferred into different products in petroleum, oil, and oil refineries, the raw data also needs to be utilized properly and used, processed, and analyzed properly. We need to remember, dear friends, that to use data wisely, it can be very extremely disadvantageous if the data contains inconsistencies or inaccurate information. The data may contain missing information or misinformation. The data may not be representative of the sample or the population which is bound to represent. Let me give an example, for instance. I take feedback from my students on a regular basis. I want to know which teaching methodologies, which assessment methodologies, which innovative techniques that I have used, how the students perceive that, what is their opinion about these methodologies, teaching methodologies that I have been using. So in order to collect information from them, I always take feedback from the students. But it is possible that the students may give biased or incomplete information to me. There might be some reluctance or inhibition in their minds, and they might not be giving me the right information that I desire. Now, only having this raw data is not enough because data needs to be reliable, the data needs to be accurate, the data needs to be representative of the views of the population of the sample that it's bound to represent. So we can see that data has to be in a form on which conclusions can be based. Now let me draw your attention towards another issue which is linked with data as oil. While the metaphor has its strong points and its strength, data is entirely different from oil. And this comparison is grossly oversimplified. It's not a correct comparison. Why? Because the nature of oil and the nature of data, they are two completely different things. In order to take advantage of data, in order to use data when solving our day-to-day problems, we need to understand what kind of resource data actually is. While on one hand we can see that oil is a finite resource, data is infinite. We can see that the number of internet users is growing exponentially. It's growing day by day. It's becoming increasingly more and more, and millions of people are now using the internet. We can say that data is practically infinite. We will never run out of data. In fact, we always keep on creating more and more data on a day-to-day basis. So we will never run out of data. On the other hand, once oil is consumed, data is created. Once oil is used, it's destroyed, it's consumed, and there can be no, creating it. While on the other hand, data is created. It does not have to be destroyed even after we have used it for analysis. And let me point out one more thing, that nowadays we are living in an information age, in a digital age, in an age of information. And every human being, every day, on a day-to-day basis, is generating more and more data. What this means is that data is an asset that does not have to go away, and it can remain useful for a very long time with us. Thank you.
Nowadays, data is being increasingly used by companies to improve their services. For example, if a cloth industry wants to gather the data of their target customers, they can data analyze the data captured from Google or any other search engine, and they can analyze that data who are their targeted customers, and they can show the targeted ads to the those customers. So data can also be used in this form also, and it can be very crucial for the development of the for the future of the company. I would like to give here the uh, recent example of BharatPay app. What BharatPay did, they gave the UPI IDs free to the shopkeepers and the merchants. They were not charging any commission fees on their UPI transactions. But what they were doing, they were earning from gathering the data of those merchants. And after gathering the data, they are analyzing it very intelligently, and they are getting the amount of monthly transaction, and from that they can evaluate the potential merchant or the shopkeeper, shopkeeper, as a customer for offering a loan, and they are offering a loan, and a, by collecting the higher rate of interest, they are running their business. And this is the very predominant example of how the data collection and data analytics can be used to run the business or to expand the business exponentially. Thank you.
I would also like to add to this, my dear friends. We say that data is the new oil. So it has taken the shape of the oil, but we should here understand the term data also. So data will be just numbers of facts. We have to convert this particular data to information in order to have some value. So data will become valuable only if it is converted into some information. Like nowadays, if I am downloading a certain app, so what it does is it asks me for a permission to say yes, because that particular app, it wants to have my contacts and my photographs, photo albums. If I say no, then I'm not able to download the app. But if I say yes, then I'm able to download that particular app. So in all these things, what is being done is that my data, my contact details, my photo albums, all that is that is being shared with that particular app. So what they do is they try to work on the psychology of that particular person, what that person eats, where that person goes. So they are keeping a watch on us also nowadays. So with this particular information, they are being using it, converting it to design marketing strategies, how they are going to position a particular product. Like you might have also experienced, like see, if I have seen a particular dress on Amazon, then after I have say browsed that particular on that Amazon portal, and a particular dress I have seen, but I have not put that into my cart. Okay. Afterwards, if I open my email or some other Google, you can say site on the Google, then what it this particular how this strategy is being used is that particular dress will be again visible to me on as an ad. So this is how they try to trap their customers. So whenever the products are free, then whenever we can say these apps or social media, Facebook, etc., whenever these things are free, then we are the product. Our data, it becomes the product. So this is also helping the countries also. And in India, we are only second to China in terms of internet uses. So we are having our digital imprint also, what we eat, where we go, कहाँ से हम खाना ऑर्डर करके मंगा रहे हैं, मतलब whether I'm interested in yoga, meditation, clothes. So all this particular information is going to the companies. So it has got a good side also, because they can design the policies, give us the products that we are interested in. But at the same time, if this particular data is being not shared properly, then it can lead to data breaches, and data privacy is also being hurt. So this is the flip side of this particular thing that needs to be managed. Thank you about this. Gayatri ma'am or somebody else would like to add something to this?
About everything done before, I do agree. Just like oil before, data is shipping the new world from our own
Sure.
brand retailers. This translates to capturing more information than ever before about the products bearing their brand name, and their marketing also becomes easier.
Yeah, they are making the products better also in this particular term also, because they are designing the products as per the customer tastes. Like Uber and Google Maps, they are improving by tapping the data, they are improving their services also.
Dear friends, let me at this juncture add that the value of oil has decreased drastically. So we can say that data is not like oil, where while oil has now decreased in demand, the value of data is increasing day by day. So on one hand, we have oil, which has decreased drastically. The value of oil has decreased drastically. On the other hand, we have data, the value of which is increasing day by day, especially in the post-COVID-19 scenario. Data is more in demand than ever before. So we all know that data is important, and we are living at times when the information is greatly important for us. Thank you.
Sure, we have got other alternatives of oil in terms of, we can say, green energy, solar power is there, wind power is there, and other renewable sources of energy. We are also looking for that. So data is it is the oil, but since it is new for us, so we need to understand its pros as well as its cons. Definitely it's helping, but we need to understand its flip side also, because our data, it should not go to our enemies. How it can be protected. So we need to have a good IT or cyber security system also. Wherever some data protection is required, we need to keep those things also ready.
Been a good.
I would like to add another point in this. Nowadays, there is a fight for localization of data. As you might have heard, a Facebook server was in USA. Countries last year, our cybersecurity team gave notice to Facebook to install servers in India itself. So data localization is a new thing which is happening in today's era, as the data collection and data gathering should be localized. Every country wants to store their data in their country only, because it gets very difficult if the data breach happens. It gets very difficult to trace the data breaches, where the data breach has happened. So in today's era, in past, there were many wars due to the oil. They want to capture the oil, the countries in which the oil is stored. But now the war, or the fight is going for the data localization among countries for the better security of their citizens.
Yes, I would like
Gayatri
to.
ma'am, are you there? Your mic. Gayatri ma'am, whether we are audible to
Yes,
you?
yes, ma'am. And there are some, yes, and there are some issues regarding misinterpretation of data also. And there may be issues of ethical aspects too. And it is called misinterpretation of data.
Sure, ma'am. So it means we need to have some people who should be able to handle this particular data properly. They should be able to analyze this particular data, collect it, and interpret it is also
Yes, ma'am.
required. So these
Yes.
could be a new, you can say, it could be the new opening in terms of jobs also. So some jobs, new jobs can be created in this particular field, or it has already been created.
It has already been created, but it still needs progress into this particular field.
That's fine. I would like to conclude saying that in the digital era, data is no longer the new oil. It is the most valuable resource. It is growing at an incredible rate. There are enormous new projects. Data is one of the society's valuable resources. It allows us to visualize relationships and happenings in different locations, departments, and systems. Those who controlled oil have controlled the economy today. But today, through data, the insights and knowledge are being extracted, which is more precious and very potential than oil itself. Thank you.